A judge laughs at teenager in court, then finds out. She's a genius attorney. It all started in a tense courtroom in downtown Atlanta when Judge Theodore Grayson mocked 16-year-old Amelia Carter, a black teenager in a hoodie and jeans, for daring to represent a client, thinking she was a naive kid playing lawyer. But when Amelia unleashed a flawless legal argument, citing precedents and procedures with unshakable confidence, the laughter died, and Grayson's smirk turned to shock. What unfolded wasn't just a viral courtroom moment. It revealed Amelia's heartbreaking motivation, tied to her wrongfully convicted brother and her fight against corruption that reached far beyond the case. From exposing a powerful businessman's lies to launching a movement for justice, Amelia's genius flipped the script on everyone who doubted her. Hey squad, welcome back to the channel. We're here for stories of grit, guts, and epic comebacks. Smash the subscribe button, hit like, and drop your city in the comments. The courtroom in downtown Atlanta was silent as Judge Theodore Grayson, 60, leaned back in his chair, a smug smile spreading across his face. His voice, dripping with condescension, echoed through the room. "Miss Carter, are you aware of where you are?" he said, addressing Amelia Carter, a 16-year-old black girl with messy curls, dressed in a simple gray hoodie and jeans. Her sneakers squeaked on the polished floor as she shifted uncomfortably, standing alone at the defendant's table with a stack of papers that seemed too heavy for her small frame. "This is a court of law, not some high school debate team." Laughter rippled across the courtroom. Attorneys exchanged amused glances. Spectators snickered. Amelia's cheeks flushed, but her eyes stayed steady, locked on the judge. "Your Honor," she began, her voice calm despite the jeers. "I'm here to—" Grayson cut her off with a wave of his hand. "Save it. This court doesn't have time for juvenile antics. I don't even know why they allowed this nonsense." Amelia raised her chin, voice firm. "If you'd let me speak, Your Honor, you might find it worth your time." The courtroom gasped. Her audacity was unheard of. Grayson's smirk deepened into a scowl. "Well, by all means," he mocked. "Enlighten us all." Amelia took a deep breath, adjusted her papers, and began. What happened next left the courtroom in stunned silence. Her argument was seamless, citing legal precedents, constitutional clauses, and courtroom procedures with precision. She wasn't just any teenager. She was knowledgeable, confident, astonishingly correct. Attorneys who'd laughed moments earlier now scribbled notes furiously. Grayson's expression shifted from amusement to disbelief. "Who are you?" he blurted, leaning forward, his voice no longer mocking but bewildered. Amelia stopped, met his gaze, and smiled slightly. "I'm Amelia Carter, and I'm here to defend my client." The room erupted into chaos, questions flying, the judge banging his gavel for order, his composure shaken. How could a teenager hold the courtroom captive with such authority? Who had allowed this? What was going on? Amelia's calm smile faltered for a flicker, a hint of hesitation crossing her face as the courtroom quieted, all eyes on her. What was she about to reveal? 2 weeks earlier, Amelia sat in her small bedroom in a cramped Atlanta apartment, surrounded by law books and legal pads. None of them hers. They belonged to her older brother, James, who'd been studying to pass the bar exam before his life unraveled. Her best friend, Lily, sat cross-legged on the bed, munching chips. "What are you even doing?" Lily asked. "You're 16. You're not a lawyer." Amelia paused over her notebook, writing case summaries. "I don't care what people think. I have to do this." "Why can't you let it go?" Lily pressed, voice softening. Amelia flipped through James's textbook, brow furrowed. "Because someone has to stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves. James believed I could do it." Lily didn't argue. She watched her friend pour herself into studying, preparing for the impossible. What Amelia didn't tell her, didn't tell anyone, was that this wasn't just about helping others. It was about proving herself. After James's wrongful conviction, everyone treated her like a fragile child. Teachers, neighbors, even her parents. But she wasn't fragile. She was smart, determined, ready to make a difference. Back in the courtroom, the atmosphere was tense. Grayson, still flustered, studied Amelia. "You're telling me you're representing the defendant?" he asked slowly. Amelia nodded. "Yes, Your Honor." "And where did you study law?" he asked, skeptical. "I didn't go to law school," she replied, steady. "But I've spent the last year studying legal texts and procedures. I've read every case related to this matter. I'm qualified." Grayson raised an eyebrow. "You believe you're qualified?" "That's not how this works. Amelia didn't flinch. Then let me prove it. Everyone waited as Grayson opened his mouth to respond, but the door swung open. A tall man in a crisp gray suit strode in, briefcase swinging. Your Honor, his deep voice carried, I believe I can shed some light on this. Amelia's confident expression slipped into uncertainty. The man commanded attention, his polished shoes stark against Amelia's sneakers. The courtroom buzzed. Who was he? Excuse me, Grayson said, regaining authority. Who are you? The man stopped, nodded respectfully. My apologies, Your Honor. I'm Daniel Hayes from the Bar Association. Hey fans, before we continue, we've noticed most of you love watching our videos but haven't subscribed. Smash that subscribe button now. Let's keep these stories coming. Amelia's heart raced as Hayes opened his briefcase, pulling out a folder. We received a tip about an unlicensed individual attempting to represent a client, he said, glancing at Amelia. We take this seriously. The air grew heavy. Amelia's stomach dropped. She'd worked tirelessly for this moment, and now it felt like it might unravel. Grayson smirked. Unlicensed? Well, Mr. Hayes, this is highly irregular. Miss Carter has no formal training. Her presence here is questionable. Amelia stepped forward, voice firm but desperate. Your Honor, I understand this is unusual, but I've done the research. My client deserves a fair defense. Grayson's smirk widened. This is a court of law, not a stage for theatrics. Do you realize the seriousness of what you're attempting? I do, Amelia said quickly, and I realize my client's life could be ruined without someone fighting for them. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the room. Some attorneys who dismissed her now looked at her with respect. Hayes cleared his throat. Your Honor, while unconventional, it's only fair to hear her out. The law ensures justice, not suppression. Grayson sighed. Fine, Miss Carter. I'll allow you to continue, temporarily. But if you waste my time, I'll hold you in contempt. Amelia hadn't always been fearless. A year ago, she was an ordinary teen, more into friends than legal battles. Everything changed when her brother James, her hero, smart, kind, protective, was arrested. 2 months from finishing law school, James got into a fight with a wealthy businessman, Victor Grant, outside a bar. Grant claimed assault. James insisted self-defense. Their parents couldn't afford a top attorney. The public defender was overworked, uninterested. James was convicted, sentenced to 3 years. Watching her brother, a man dedicated to justice, become a victim of the system shattered Amelia. Instead of giving up, she decided to fight, learning the law to make things right. Back in court, Amelia launched into her argument for her client, Mr. Peterson, a middle-aged man accused of embezzling funds he denied taking. She presented documents proving discrepancies in the company's records, suggesting someone else was responsible, and quoted precedents supporting a thorough investigation. The courtroom listened intently. Grayson leaned forward, expression unreadable. But Hayes stood. Your Honor, while impressive, she's not licensed. This sets a dangerous precedent. Grayson looked at Amelia. One last chance to explain. Who gave you authority to act as counsel? Amelia hesitated. Then the door burst open. A boy, no older than 10, ran in. Amelia, he called, clutching a crumpled envelope. Her eyes widened. Ethan? He thrust the envelope at her. You forgot this. Amelia recognized it instantly, something she'd never intended to reveal here. All eyes watched as her hands shook, taking it. Miss Carter, Grayson snapped. What's in that envelope? She faltered. It's nothing that concerns this case, Your Honor. Grayson's eyes narrowed. If you're withholding something pertinent, it won't end well. Ethan tugged her sleeve, whispering, Show them. Amelia's heart sank. He didn't understand the consequences. She glanced at Mr. Peterson, who looked terrified, then at the judge. Hayes interjected, Your Honor, this envelope is irrelevant to her qualifications. Grayson silenced him. I'll decide what's relevant. With no choice, Amelia tore it open, a handwritten letter from James, his final plea before prison, urging her to fight for justice. She folded it, voice firm. It's personal. It has nothing to do with this case. Grayson sighed. Fine. But this is your last chance, Miss Carter. The doors burst open again. A tall woman in a dark blazer strode in, hair in a tight bun. Your Honor? Her voice cut through. I'm Margaret Steele, District Attorney's Office, addressing a matter of importance. Grayson frowned. Miss Steele, this is irregular. What matter? Steele gestured at Amelia. The unauthorized presence of this individual. The courtroom erupted. Amelia's stomach dropped. Steele wasn't here to support her. She was here to tear her down. "Order!" Grayson shouted, banging his gavel. "Explain yourself." Steele nodded. "If Miss Carter proceeds, it violates legal ethics. I'm here to uphold this court's integrity." Amelia's voice was strong despite her fear. "Your Honor, I request the chance to prove myself. I've studied the law, and I'm the best person to defend my client." Grayson glanced between Steele, Hayes, and the packed courtroom, then spoke. "I'll allow this hearing to continue, Miss Carter, but you're on thin ice. If you falter, I'll shut this down." Steele smirked. "Then I'd like to call my first witness." Amelia froze. Witness? She wasn't prepared for this. Victor Grant, the businessman who'd accused James, entered, his navy suit tailored, his smirk chilling. Steele gestured. "This is Mr. Grant. His testimony is crucial to why Miss Carter cannot continue." Amelia's blood ran cold. Why was he here? "Mr. Grant, describe your interactions with Miss Carter," Steele asked. Grant's eyes gleamed. "I met her during her brother's trial. He was convicted of assaulting me. She was disruptive, obsessive, attended every hearing, sent letters, made calls to reopen the case." Amelia shot forward. "Your Honor, this is irrelevant. An attempt to discredit me." Grayson gave her a sharp look. "I'll decide what's relevant." Steele continued. "Mr. Grant, does her behavior suggest she's fit to represent a client?" "Absolutely not," Grant said. "She's emotionally unstable, disrespectful of the system." Amelia gripped the table, struggling to stay composed. Steele turned to Grayson. "This shows she's unfit." Amelia stood. "Your Honor, Mr. Grant falsely accused my brother. His testimony is biased," the courtroom murmured. Grayson banged his gavel. "Order!" "Miss Carter, you may cross-examine." Amelia approached Grant, voice steady. "You claim I was disruptive. Provide examples." Grant smirked. "Everyone saw how you behaved." "That's not an answer," Amelia said. "If you're accusing me, provide evidence." Grant faltered. "You were loud, argumentative, refused the court's decision. Do those actions, motivated by fighting for my brother's innocence, make me incapable of defending my client?" "Yes," Grant snapped. "You're too emotional." Amelia's eyes narrowed. "Too emotional, or too determined to let people like you exploit the system?" The courtroom gasped. Grayson warned, "Watch your tone." Amelia nodded. "Mr. Grant, the security footage from the bar? Why was it never admitted in my brother's trial?" Grant shifted. "It was ruled inadmissible." "Because it contradicted your claim of assault?" "I'm not here to discuss that," Grant snapped. Before Amelia could press, a crash came from the back. A man stumbled in, pale, holding a USB drive. "I have evidence," he said, trembling, "that proves everything she's saying is true." The courtroom erupted. Amelia froze. Who was this man, and what did he have? The man clutched the USB drive, chest heaving. "Order!" Grayson shouted. "Who are you?" The man stepped forward. "I'm Henry Willis. I worked for Victor Grant." Grant shot up. "Your Honor, he's lying. A disgruntled employee." Grayson glared. "Sit down." Mr. Grant Willis held up the drive. "This has footage from the night of the incident with Amelia's brother." Grant's voice was sharp. "That footage was inadmissible." Willis's voice grew stronger. "It wasn't inadmissible. It was suppressed by you." The courtroom buzzed. Grayson turned to Willis. "Do you have proof?" Willis nodded. "It's all here." The bailiff retrieved the drive, and Grayson ordered, "Play the footage." The grainy video showed Grant at the bar, laughing with associates. James entered, spoke calmly, turned to leave. Then Grant grabbed him, threw the first punch. James acted in self-defense. Amelia's eyes teared up. This was the truth. Grayson's voice was cold. "Mr. Grant, care to explain?" Grant stammered. I don't know what he's pulling." Grayson cut him off. "Enough. This court won't tolerate perjury. Mr. Hayes, reevaluate this witness's testimony." Amelia stepped forward. "Your Honor, this discredits Mr. Grant and questions his accusations against my brother. I request caution with his testimony." Grayson nodded. "Noted. But this case is about Mr. Peterson Steele requested a recess." Grayson granted 30 minutes. Amelia sat, head spinning. She'd won a battle, but the war wasn't over. Steele returned with evidence. Emails allegedly showing Peterson's embezzlement. Amelia's heart sank. They looked legitimate. but something felt off. Your Honor, I question their authenticity. Given the inconsistencies, they may be fabricated. Steele's eyes narrowed. Are you accusing us of falsifying evidence? I'm saying we verify, Amelia replied. Grayson ordered a forensic analysis. The emails were forged. Gasps filled the room. Grayson demanded Steele explain. Before she could, a man confessed, I forged them. Grant told me to. The courtroom exploded. Grant was detained for investigation. Grayson dismissed the charges against Peterson. Amelia whispered to him, You're free. But Grant's parting words, This isn't over, lingered. The courthouse buzzed. Reporters swarmed as Amelia and Peterson stepped out. You saved my life, he said, voice trembling. You don't have to thank me. Just live your life, Amelia replied. That evening, news broke. Grant was released on bail, claiming a smear campaign. Amelia's jaw tightened. She told Lily, I'm going to fight. He's not getting away. At the library, she uncovered payments to a consulting firm tied to James's trial. Willis's name appeared. She tracked him down. He revealed a deeper network behind Grant. They'll do anything to keep secrets buried, Willis warned. Amelia nodded. If we don't fight, innocent people pay. They infiltrated the firm, copied files. Caught by guards, Amelia convinced them to look at the evidence. The guards let them go. With journalist Sarah Green, they exposed the corruption. Grant was arrested again during a raid. Weeks later, James's conviction was vacated. He was free. Amelia hugged him, tears streaming. We did it. Years later, as a licensed attorney, Amelia stood in court, fighting for a single mother. I'm here to deliver the truth, she said, her journey from mocked teen to genius attorney complete. Amelia's journey from a laughed-at teen to a genius attorney shows courage can rewrite any story. Her fight for justice didn't just free her brother, it exposed a web of corruption and proved brilliance can come from anywhere. Thanks for watching. If this moved you, if it reminded you to never underestimate anyone, subscribe and share it with someone who needs it. Because sometimes the greatest heroes rise from the smallest beginnings.